Wow, so hello guys, a big welcome to the Manjas Electro Hive channel. So today we're going to be doing something in depth about how to use, we're going to be designing something that you're going to see in Fusion 360. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So here, as you can see here, this is what we're going to be designing. But before we actually go down into designing this, let's understand what we actually have here. So right here, change this to a full move view. So right here we have how is it called, a hybrid 36Y0 or YO, which contains, so today we're going to be doing this, a modeled neck. So we're going to draw a sketch of this. Basically we're going to replicate this into a sketch in Fusion 360. Then we're going to be able to develop a 3D body of this figure that you're seeing here. Then after developing a 3D view, you see that this cutting lines that you see, these construction lines that is here, the dotted lines, represent the inner parts of this product that we're developing that we are not able to see. So most of the dimensions of this part are found, as you can see. This is the top plate. This is where the top plate is going to be fitting. Then down here, as you can see, is the point where the bottom plate is going to be able to fit. So as you can see here, this is bottom plate, so we're going to be using this bottom plate here fits here. So we're going to be using dimensions from this bottom plate in order to determine some distances from here. So as you can see here, we have a distance of 0.333. Then here we have a distance of 0.31. So you can see that this has been designed in such a way that this bottom plate can easily fit inside this. So you find that they've already accommodated for the error. So we're going to be, in some cases, we're going to be getting dimensions, especially of these circles that you see here. We're going to, of the top plate, we're going to be getting them from this top plate view, where you can see that here we actually have we are looking at 5 circles right here. So we're looking at the exterior circle being this distance of 2.5. So when you create a 3D body, we're going to say that this 2.5 is going to be the circumference of the outer body of this general part. Then we're going to say that this inner circle right here is going to be this dotted outline of where the bottom plate will fit, and as well where the top plate will fit. So that's why we have these two similar outlines on the top and bottom plates, because that is the size of these top and bottom plates and where they're going to fit. So the other circle we're looking at is this outer circle, which is found on the what? As you can see clearly here, this outer circle, this from here to here, this is this circle over 0.87, this its diameter of that circle, 0.87 millimeters. So we're seeing this inner circle that follows that outer circle is basically just a circle that comes as a result of the chisel that you can see here. Sorry, it's called a chamfer. As a result of the chamfer that comes, you're going to look at this when we come up with our final 3D body. Then the last circle that I'm going to show you guys that we're going to be doing is this dotted line that you can see that is going across. So this last, the smallest circle that we see here with a 0.37 millimeters is the last circle that we see that actually drills through the whole body. So now that you've understood whatever sketches that we have here, let's get started with Fusion 360. Now let's come to Fusion 360. So what you basically do is, let's start a new design which I've already created. Come here and then click on new design or Control N. So after that, we're going to start by drawing a sketch. Remember I said we're going to be doing the model neck today. Zoom in a bit. Now first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to create a rectangle. Then we're going to be able to sketch these horizontal lines. Then we're going to put the vertical center line. This, as you can see here, this is 1.25. Then we're going to have another line here and another line here. Then where these lines intersect, where you're looking at the pluses, that is where we're going to be putting our circles. Then after that, we shall be drawing some lines with angles of 30 degrees, as you're going to be able to see. I don't want to mention a lot of words and really do less, so let's get started with Fusion. So our dimensions of the rectangle are going to be 2.5, and going to be 2.5 here and 3.25. so let's go to sketch. Let's select a plane. So selected the top plane. So we're going to draw a rectangle here. Let's do this. So the length of our rectangle is 2.5 millimeters. Enter. Then the width, let's come to dimensions, come to D, let's press D. Then click on the dimension you want, pull out and double click, then change the distance to 3 point, what is the distance? Let's confirm the distance, 3.25 millimeters. So come here and put it 3.25 millimeters, enter. So yeah, that's how small it is. So I'm going to zoom in. Let's move it a bit up. Let's move this as well close, but you don't really need them close. There. Okay, let's zoom in a bit more. Let's move it to the center. Actually, there's a shortcut. You can actually just use this and close the whole thing. Yes, yep, and it zooms in. So after we've done that, escape. After we've done this, the next step, remember, is to draw the horizontal lines. Let's draw the horizontal lines and the vertical lines, and shall come and put the distances all together. So let's do this. L, shortcut for L. Come here, draw a line. Make sure you draw lines that go through the rectangle and don't just lie inside within the rectangle, because they'll be fixed, and you do not want fixed lines because you're going to get some weird annoying errors. So let's draw 3 lines, escape, L. Let's draw the third line. Yes. Okay, let's not make it congested before. So let's come here. This one's distance is 0.81. So dimension D. Just press D on your keyboard, then click on this line, click on the next line. I can drag it out. 0.81 millimeters. Okay, the next one was 1.62 and 2.43. 1.62 1.62 millimeters and 2.43. 2.43 millimeters. So enter. So after you're done with that, let's escape. So after you're done with this, you can make these construction lines by clicking on the line, then coming to this icon construction, click on it. That's done. Let's click on this construction lines. So what is the use of having construction lines? Well, construction lines help us know the dimensions. They don't really affect our sketches in that they cannot generate any kind of 3D body when you go to the 3D body dimension. So basically, construction lines are for generating lines that help us measure distances and all that for dimensions. So let's go ahead and create our vertical 3 lines. So click on L. So I'm going to come here, escape, go to L again, click on L, click, escape. So L again on your keyboard, drag, drop, escape. Now the distances that we have here are 0.31, 1.25. So 0.31, 1.25. Let's do that. So press D on your keyboard. .31 millimeters. Enter. So from here to here it is 1.25 millimeters. Enter. Then the last one was 1.88 millimeters. So from here to here was 1.88 millimeters. Enter. So after we're done with that, to escape. Then remember, this is a center line, so I'm going to use this center line thing. Okay, enter. Then these are construction lines, so I'm going to put construction line. Come here as well, construction line. So after we are done with that, we're going to create circles. Remember, we're going to put circles at the intersection points. So as you can see here, we're going to draw these circles. So this at 0.38 millimeters in diameter and 0.25 millimeters in diameter. So let's do that quick. So come to sketch. Now I'm going to come here, click on this part, sketch, then I'm going to come to create circles. Remember, we had said the dimensions of our circles are 0.38 and 0.25. So I'm going to come here, just type in 0.38 millimeters, enter. And basically we're going to repeat the same process. I hope I'm dropping them at the centers. Make sure you're dropping them at the center, 0.38 millimeters, enter. Okay. 0.38 millimeters, enter. So after you've done that, the other circles were 0.25, so basically going to do the same. 0.25 millimeters, enter. Come here, create another circle, 0.25 millimeters, enter. Small this up a bit, so drop that right there, 0.25 millimeters. Okay, now that we are done with the circles, the next thing we're going to do is next thing we're going to do is want to create these lines. I want to create lines here that have an angle of 60 degrees between them. So we're going to use this construction line as a reference point to create a line above with an angle of 30 and a line below with an angle of 30. So I'm going to do that for all this, as we're going to see. So click on L, come and draw a line right there, escape. I'm going to draw another line, L, okay, drop it there, escape. So press D for dimension, then come click on this line, click on the construction line, then change the angle to 30 degrees. Just click on this line, click on this line, change the angle to 30 degrees. So basically we're going to repeat the same steps on the remaining line and the remaining points. So I'm going to escape, then L, escape. Escape. Okay, so we're going to change the angles as well. D. Right, press D, click on this line, angle is 30 degrees, this line, angle is 30 degrees, this line, construction line, angle is 30 degrees, this line, construction line, oops, this line, angle is 30 degrees. So after we're done with this, what you can basically do is we're going to, as you can see here, there's a space all around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim these lines. So come here, look for the under modify, trim. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to trim off this. Okay, actually before I do that, let me escape. I want to remove the congestion that we have here, so I'm going to hide dimensions and I'm going to hide constraints such that we have a more simple figure to work with. So I'm going to remove that, remove this, trim this off, trim this off, trim that off, trim. Then as well on the circles, trim that, trim. Yep, so once we're done with that, the next step that we're going to do is we're going to come right here and we're going to cut out these small portions here that you're going to see. So the distance, these lines move from the circle to the edge of the rectangle, and their distance is 0.02 millimeters apart. So let's do that. Let's zoom in order to do that. So press L. Let's construct some beautiful lines here. That, escape, press L again, and draw another line. Beautiful, right there. So after you're done with this, what we're going to do is press D for dimension, then click on that, then click on the construction line. So you want that to be at a distance of 0.01 millimeters. Enter. Then this as well should be at a distance of 0.01 millimeters. Enter that. So I'm going to repeat the same procedure for the other parts as well. So let's move this up a bit right there. So let's construct some nice lines there. Line, come here, do that, escape. So I'm going to do that for this as well. Line from the circle to here, escape, line from the circle to the edge, escape. So I'm going to change the dimensions. Let's zoom in a bit again. So D, press D for dimensions. Yep, 0.01 millimeters. Thank you very much. .01 millimeters. Enter. .01 millimeters. Enter. Here to the dimension point. 0.01 millimeters. Enter. So once we are done with that, realize all our dimensions and construction constraints are being hidden because we unchecked this. So that's okay. So what we're going to do is, after doing that, we're going to trim as well. So I'm going to trim off, come to your trim, I want to trim off this edge of the circles, then this edge. Let me zoom in a bit, and these edges. So let's move this up, zoom in, let's move that, zoom out, move this a bit here. Let's come to trim, trim that off, trim that off, trim this off, trim that off. So let's move, zoom in, zoom out, zoom out, escape, zoom in, trim, zoom in, trim, 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 trim. So once we are done trimming, let me hope I'm done trimming everything. As you can see, yep, they're all trimmed. So once you are done with this, don't make the mistake of clicking on finish. So what I've realized is, with my small experience, do not click on finish until you finish doing all your sketch. So after doing this, the next thing we're going to do is want to generate a 3D body from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all this. After I do that, I'm just going to come to solid, then okay, let me first go back here. So we're done with all these dimensions. As you can see here, everything here is done. So what we want to work on now is creating the 3D body and going into these interior parts that we can't see. So I'm going to, let's go straight into that now. So highlight your whole body like so, then come to extrude. Extrude is basically, extrude adds depth, as you can see here, adds depth to open or close sketches, profiles or faces. So it helps us form a 3D body. So I'm going to click on that. Then we're going to take the value that we're going to use here. Unfortunately my value came here, but anyway I can type it here. So I'm going to be taking the distance of 2.5 millimeters. So why are we taking 2.5 millimeters? We're taking 2.5 millimeters. Let me show you how it looks. 2.5 millimeters, because that is the distance from our, it's going to be the distance of our circumference. So I've generally made a square. The distance from this part here, let me use this. So this is how we drew it on the sketch. So the distance from here up to here is 2.5, and the distance from here up to here is 3.25. That is the height of our body that we're designing. Then the distance 2.5 is going to be the same as the circumference of our object that we're creating. So that is why we made this distance that we extruded to be 2.5. So what we have generally added is this depth from here to here, which is 2.5, generally making this a square. So now after doing this, what we want to do is we want to make it circular. So how do we make it circular? Because it's, as you can see right here, it's in some kind of square form. So how we're going to do that is we're going to let me exit from that by escape. So let me come to top. This is the top face, so I want to go up right here. This is back. Anyway, let me go the other side. Let's go to the front right here. So now on the front, what we basically want to do is we're going to come right here. We want to create a sketch on this surface of ours. So you click on that, let me move it a bit down to the center, escape. So I'm going to come here on create, then I'm going to come to circle. I'm going to create a 3 tangent circle. So I just want to fit a circle inside this. I'm going to select 3 faces of my square. As you can see, the circle has appeared. Voila! How awesome is that? So after that is done, what we want to do is, are you seeing? All my faces are working. Why? Because I did not finish my sketch. So do that. Follow what I'm exactly doing and you won't face any challenges. So after doing this, what we're going to do is we're going to select this, shift, select the next one. I want to select these side edges. So how am I doing that? Then I want to come to solid, then extrude. So what I want to do is I want to cut this off. So let me show you that in another dimension. So let me use this dimension to show you that. So I'm going to come here. It's showing new body, but I do not want a new body, because if I move this with a new body, you see a new body is created. So what I want to do is I want to cut it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, I change it to cut, then I'm going to arrow. Make sure you click, move your cursor to the arrow until when you're able to see those lines, those beautiful lines. So I'm going to cut off all those unwanted parts. As you can see, if I move it up, move it, so I'm going to remove. If I ended it here, that means only that part would be removed and you'd just be seeing, as you can see, that circular part inside. So I'm going to just move it all the way such that I cut off all the extra parts that I do not need. Then I click on OK. As you can see, we have generated a cylinder. Isn't that beautiful? So what I'm going to do is, now after doing this, what you want to do after doing this is, now we want to create the escape. Let's go back to our PDF. So what we want to do is we want to create this inner parts of our 3D body now. So you want to create the drill hole, this hole that you can see here as a result of this small circle. Then we have this outer part as well, then the inner circle. So what we're going to do is, let's start with the front part of this front part of our molded neck. So let's start with this. So I'm going to construct like a small circle of 0.37, then the outer one of what is the distance, 0.37, then the other one is 0.87. so let's do that very fast, or if not, let's do this. Let's make this a bit easy. So we're going to start by constructing the outer circle, which is this, of 2.25 millimeters diameter. So let me click on this. Okay, let's go. So make sure you go to the front face. After you've gone to the front face, what we're going to do is we want to construct an offset plane. So come here, click on offset plane, then click on the surface of the body, that front surface of the body, 3D body. Click on that, then say yes to that distance, because we don't want it to be any distance above our 3D body, so we want it just lying on the surface. That's why we're using 0.00. If we placed any distance, that means our plane would be some distance away from the surface of our body. So 00 means it's lying on the surface, the plane is on the surface. If I said 5, that means it would be lifted up 5 millimeters above our surface of the body. So I'm going to click on OK. Then we're going to right click, then create sketch. Yes, so when this axis come about, know that you're on the right direction. So I'm going to come to circle here. Remember, the circle we're drawing is 2.25, sorry, 25 millimeters. Okay, so after doing that, what we're going to do is we can create other circles as well. But first, what I'm going to do is, since we are seeing from here our body, that this whole part here is actually after that circle, all the part down there is hollow. So what I'm going to do is, after creating that circle, we're going to extrude any portion of this 3D body that is contained within that circle. So let's do that. We're going to do that for the top and the bottom, then we shall come and work on these smaller circles. Okay, so I'm going to come here, click on this, then we're going to come to solid, then extrude. Let's change the view such that you guys can see it best. So we're going to come here to cut, and so then under here we're going to put never checked for the distance. So the distance, the depth that we're going to go to, this depth from here to down here is 0.31 millimeters. So that's the distance I'm going to use. So I'm going to have remember, this arrow is pointing outside, so in order to make it cut inward, you can either move your arrow inside, then adjust the distance here, 0.31 millimeters, enter, or you could have just typed in the value this side. So as you can see, we have created a hole, which is this hole that you can see right here. So now, after doing that, let's do the same thing for the bottom. Since we have the same hole that's on the top at the bottom as well, but for the bottom part we say that its hole has a depth of 0.313. so that's what we're going to do. So let's go to the bottom side first. This is the front, so let's go to the back so I don't want to confuse anyone. So we're here, right here at the back. So when you're at the back, what we're going to do is we're going to create another construction plane. But before I do that, one thing you should note is every time that you create a construction plane, as you can see right here in the bottom left corner, you can see here that we constructed a plane and we placed our circle that we did, and right now I'm again going to construct another plane, and you'll really need to take note of that, because we're not going to go back to create the 3 circles, the other 2 small circles. We shall need to go back to the other plane and not this plane, so you'll understand what I'm saying when we actually do it practically. So let's come here to construct offset plane, click on the bottom, this 3D body of ours. So I'm still going to put it on the surface. Okay, then we're going to right click, then create sketch. Voila, we see our axis again. So we're going to create a circle of, guess what, let's go to the bottom plate. Here we see the circumference is the same, or the diameter rather is 2.25. so right here we're going to click and create a circle with a diameter of 2.25 millimeters. Enter. So after we've done that, we want to create a depth of what, 0.313. so let's come back here, click on this, then we're going to extrude right here. Let's change the view. Okay, let's use this. I'm going to change the view right there so that you guys can see what is happening. Escape. So as I said last time, you could either do it the other way or you could type in the value here. So what I'm basically going to do, I'm going to change this to cut, then I'm going to, what value did you have? 0.313 millimeters. Remember, it's going to be in a negative direction. Negative, remember to put the negative such that it goes behind. Okay, so as you can see, we have created that. The distance was 0.313. okay, so after doing that, now we are going to go back to our front face. Remember, the back face only has that hole. Then we're going to go and work on the smaller circles on the front face of our 3D object. So right here, this is our back. Now let's go to the front. Okay, there. Now that we are at the front, remember what I said? So this plane that we had here is for the back, not so? Then this plane that we created was for the front. So we're going to come and click on this sketch 3. So click on sketch 3. This is where you see our, let me double click on it. Okay, now we have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to sketch, click on this, not really, click on this, let me move it down here. Okay, then after I've done that, this sketch 3, double click, then we're going to come to sketch circles that we want to draw inside here. So I want to put a circle of 0.87 millimeters. Okay, circle 0.87 millimeters. Remember, we're dealing with the top, and the top right here, as you can see, we have this circle is 0.87 millimeters. Then the innermost circle is right here with 0.375 millimeters. So I'm going to do that as well. 0.375 millimeters. So come on circle, click this, 0.375 millimeters, enter. So after you're done with all that, what we're going to do is we're going to, for this inner circle, you want to extrude, come to solid, extrude. Let's change the view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through. Remember, this inner circle drills through the whole body. As you can see, it comes out from here and comes out from here. So that's what we're going to do. So basically what I'm just going to do is come to this, then move my drill hole right there, and I enter. As you can now see, the hole is created. So as you can see, there's a hole right there. So escape. So if you guys are not able to see that, maybe if you've created the hole and you're not able to see it, it's cause this black arrow, this right here, is not at the end as mine is. So probably yours could be at some position here. As you can see, if I move this back, you see that it removes my final thing that I've just done right now. So if some of you may be having that, and could be the reason that's why you're not seeing the hole after you drilling the hole. So what you basically do is move it in front and you'll be able to see the hole. So after we have done with that, so we're going to go back to our sketch 3. Remember, go back to sketch 3. So go back to sketch 3. Yes, so by the way, for some of you guys who have actually faced a challenge where you click on your thing and it's not activating as I did, so what I've just seen right now is you can be able to solve that problem by coming and activating the sketch that you had here. So my sketch is for that. As you can see, I cannot be able to access this individual circles that I have, remember. So yeah, one of my colleagues faced such a problem. So you can be able to access search by just activating your sketch, opening it up for editing and all that view mode. So let's proceed from where we had stopped. It faced some challenges a bit. So let's come here. So we have created the hole, and the next thing now left for us to do is let's come back here. I want to create this as you can see here, I want to create that the chamfer. So I want to create the chamfer here, then we're going to create the fillets. I'm going to create the fillets here, a fillet, then a chamfer here, and we shall be done. So let's come to our 3D body right here. So under this, and by the way, we haven't worked on that. Remember this this body right here is drilled down at a depth of what? Let's check on the top layer. Let's check on the top layer right here. So you can see that this right here is drilled a distance. Our top that we have already done is at 0.31 depth. Then this circle here is at 0.5. So let's do that before we actually chamfer it. So let's come here and rotate it a bit like that. Actually, let me select this front to make it easy for all of us to see. Click on this inner circle, then you're going to come to extrude right here. Then I want to change its view like that. What you basically see is this this thing is already 0.31 millimeters below. So what we're going to see is the remaining distance that we have here from 0.31 is what? 0.19. 0.19 is the distance that is left from this depth to that point. So 0.19. So there is a way of doing it from 0.5, but that I think I should have done it earlier in order to do it with a 0.5. So basically what I'm going to do is, since it's already starting from below here, I'm just going to add I'm going to cut to a depth of 0.19 millimeters. So I'm going to come to this, I'm going to cut to 0.19, negative 0.19 millimeters. Enter. Yeah, it shouldn't be that deep. So I'm going to close these sketches, then we're just going to chamfer and fillet, and it will be done. This will be done. So now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this. Let's begin by doing the fillets on the top. On the top plate, as you can see here, the fillet is 0.12. Then on the bottom plate, we also have 0.12. So that's what we're going to do. So the shortcut for fillet is F. So we're going to tap on F, then select, click on select, then come and select this inner edge. That's the edge you want to fillet. So click on it, then I'm going to put 0.12 millimeters. Enter. So after it has done that, we're going to rotate to the back, right there. Then I'm going to click on F again, select this edge as well, then put 0.12 millimeters. Enter. So once we are done with those fillets, we are going to rotate back to the front, and we want to work on the chamfer of this inner grooving. So let's come to modify, then click on chamfer, F, chamfer I mean, come to modify, click on chamfer like so, then come right here and click on that lower edge right there, click on that. Then we are chamfering. I don't know if the term is chamfering actually. So I'm going to come and chamfer. Chamfer is on the top plate. So I'm going to come to top plate. The chamfer is 0.12 as well, and 45 degrees. You can see that angle there is 45. So 0.12, 45 degrees. So it's going to, since it's only providing distance, we're going to put in a distance which is 0.12 millimeters. It will automatically do the 45 degrees. So I'm going to enter. So as you guys can see right here, we've created a chamfer right here. So you can see this is an angle 45 right here, and if I can make it easier to view, as you can see right there, when you have when you see it from here, you see that it's curving inside. That's what a chamfer is. Then a fillet is kind of like a curve, so you can easily see them when you're viewing it like this. Let me click on front face, then let me zoom in a bit so you guys can see it quite well there. See it quite well there. So yeah, that is it. And thank you guys for watching. If you've actually been able to complete the video and you've learned something and you've enjoyed it as well, please give the video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Be stuck.